3 young people are driving jet skis for fun on the sea, but they soon feel that this is not exciting enough. They quickly head for the deep sea further away from the shore. Not long after, the 3 of them see an atoll in the middle of the ocean. This is a peculiar area of water surrounded by coral atolls. It is completely isolated from the ocean most of the time. It only connects to the sea during occasional high tides. The group starts playing excitedly again upon seeing this, but they do not know that a crisis has quietly arrived. Soon, the speeding jet ski is flipped over from below. The mobile phone is lost by falling directly into the water. Maddie, hearing the noise, quickly stands up to check. But now only one jet ski is floating in the distance. Fortunately, the 2 people who fell into the water quickly surface. A panicked Trish quickly climbs back onto the inflatable pad first. Only then does she have time to ask about the situation just now. Josh does not think that much. He only cares about whether his jet ski is damaged. But while swimming back to check, Josh finally realizes something is wrong. He frantically swims toward the 2 people, but it is too late to escape now. He is still dragged into the abyss. Soon the 2 see the seawater quickly stained red. Although they do not see exactly what it is, Maddie understands they must stay away from the water surface now. Fortunately, there is a protruding rock nearby. The 2 of them carefully paddle toward it. They are afraid that too much movement will attract that thing, but the next second, the 2 stop their actions. An orca about 9 meters long slowly swims past from below. The blood it brings up splashes directly on them. The 2 frightened people no longer care about that. They paddle frantically toward the rock. But just as they are about to touch the rock, the inflatable pad is pulled back by a force. No matter how hard they try, they cannot stop it. Until they are dragged back to the original position, the force gradually disappears. It turns out there is a rope for towing at the end of the pad. The opponent used this to bring them back. Maddie sees this and quickly fishes the rope out of the water. But even so, she still dares not relax at all. Orcas have the intelligence level of a 15-year-old human. This can be seen from its behavior of playing with the 2 people just now. What is even stranger is that Maddie sees the opponent's dorsal fin is bent. This indicates that this orca has been in captivity for a long time. Because the activity area of the aquarium is small, the orca cannot swim at high speed. It can only swim in circles for a long time. This causes the dorsal fin to bear one-way pressure for a long time. Plus, the need to frequently leap out of the water during performances. The lack of water support also intensifies the bending of the dorsal fin. So only captive whales will show this phenomenon. And they do not know that this orca was indeed just released back into the ocean. The opponent's physical and mental health were greatly affected under long-term captivity. It eventually brutally killed the trainer who often punished it. This made the aquarium realize that this orca had serious health problems. In order to prevent future tragedies from happening again, the aquarium decided to release it back into the sea. And although Maddie wonders why the orca still attacks people after being released, it is not the time to think about this. The opponent clearly holds hostility toward the 2 people appearing here. If they do not do something, they will be eaten like Josh sooner or later. She says that only by swimming to the rock can they have a chance to survive. She then keeps soothing her companion's emotions. They wait for the opportunity when the orca swims past from below again. Unexpectedly, Trish gathered her courage and jumped down, but Maddie herself stayed in place. Not only that, the items in the backpack also scattered. Seeing that the most important hearing aid battery is floating away with the waves, Maddie quickly tries to reach it. But at this time, the orca has already swum over from a distance. She can only give up salvaging and quickly climb back onto the pad, but the orca just swims past quickly and does not attack her. Instead, it becomes interested in the companion who is swimming frantically. Fortunately, at this time, Trish has swum near the rock. Feeling the threat, she does not care about the sharp edges. She hurriedly climbs up. Maddie relaxes only after seeing this, but she still dares not act and can only throw the backpack over first. But neither of them notice that the rope fell into the water again due to the large movement. At this time, Trish thinks of a way. She picks up a stone and says she will attract the orca's attention. Then, Maddie can take the opportunity to swim over. But just as Maddie has made her psychological preparation, she suddenly hears a hissing sound behind her. Thinking of something, she looks back in horror. She sees the rope in the water has been pulled straight. In the next second, the leaking pad quickly deflates. This time, Maddie has to go into the water, even if she doesn't want to. She has no choice but to leap into the water and swim hard. Maddie finally escapes to the rock. The 2 relaxed people then have time to check their physical conditions. It is seen that Trish had scratched her thigh earlier while climbing. Maddie sees this and quickly takes off her coat. Then she uses a stone to cut the clothes open. One half is used to bandage the leg wound. The other half is used to bandage her own foot. She also accidentally stepped on a shell in the rush just now. After helping each other simply treat the injuries, the two then have time to think. After their analysis, they realize that the orca accidentally swam into this area during high tide after being released. It was trapped here again during low tide. This caused it to think it was still imprisoned in the aquarium, so it would attack them who entered this water area. Thinking of this, the two fall into complete despair. But now the orca has sunk the jet ski. They can only pray that someone can pass by here to rescue them. Thinking of this, Maddie quickly organizes the supplies. She finds there is only a piece of chewing gum in a box. All other things were lost in the panic. The two can only share the chewing gum to satisfy their hunger first. Fortunately, Trish finds there is also a plastic sealing bag. She quickly blows it full of air and seals the opening. In this way, the moisture that cannot escape after being exposed to the sun will condense into water droplets. Although not much, at least it can supplement some water for the body. But this effect takes at least 8 to 10 hours to achieve. The two can only curl up on the rock. They try their best to maintain body temperature while saving energy. Soon, the time comes to dusk. They suddenly hear what seems to be a siren sound. They see a ship passing by in the distance at this time. They quickly call for help desperately, but because the distance is too far, the other party does not hear at all. The two can only watch the hope of rescue drift further and further away. And just when they are a bit frustrated, Maddie sees an arm floating in the water, and a flashlight is tied to that wrist. Seeing this, they quickly support each other and lie by the water to fish the flashlight up. In this way, there is a chance to be found even in the middle of the night. But after tossing and turning all night, no one passed by again. Fortunately, when they are exhausted, the moisture in the sealing bag finally evaporates into water droplets. The two carefully share them. They moistened their already dry mouths, but this little moisture cannot relieve their hungry and thirsty bodies at all. At this time, Maddie suddenly remembers that the shells she stepped on yesterday might be edible. Thinking of this, she directly risks going into the water. She picks up the shells before the orca can react. Although she bruised her forehead in the haste, fortunately, she successfully got the food. But because there are no tools, the shell cannot be opened. Maddie considers for a long time and still takes out the box. Trish sees this and quickly tries to stop her, only because this is the urn of Maddie's ex-boyfriend. It turns out Maddie was once a talented cellist, but she encountered a robbery during a late-night part-time job. Her ears became deaf in that accident, and her boyfriend also died of a gunshot wound while protecting her. One of the purposes of this trip is to scatter his ashes into the free ocean, but at this moment, she cannot care so much. The two quickly use the lid of the box to smash the shells open. They eat the meat inside together with the juice. Although the taste is extremely fishy and smelly, it at least temporarily solves the survival crisis. Seeing that the ashes can no longer be preserved, Maddie decides to scatter them right here. But looking at her companion who is reminiscing about the person, Trish can no longer bear the inner torture. She confesses to her that she was the one who found that gunman back then. Trish, who was short of money at the time, accidentally learned through Maddie that the restaurant would have a large amount of cash every night. So she found a friend who was also short of money to carry out the robbery. Unexpectedly, Maddie happened to change shifts with a colleague that day. Eventually, it led to an irreparable tragedy. Learning the truth, Maddie completely collapses. At this moment, she does not want to hear Trish's apology. She does not even want to stay with the other person. But being in a difficult situation leaves her with nowhere to go. She can only take off her hearing aid to express her inner determination. Seeing that Maddie refuses to forgive, and their bodies are also about to reach the limit, they cannot last long if this continues. Trish decides to sacrifice herself to fight for a chance of life for her companion. She plans to swim toward the beach where they first entered this water area, and Maddie will go into the water after she sets off. It is best if she can cover her to reach the edge of the atoll safely. At worst, she can also swim to the rock ahead, which is closer to the shore. After saying that, she slowly enters the water. At this time, the water surface is terrifyingly calm, but Trish knows that the orca must be peering from somewhere. On the other side, Maddie, who is not wearing a hearing aid, is still unaware. By the time she finds, her companion behind her is gone. Trish has already left the rock and swum far away. Maddie sees this and hurriedly shouts for her to come back quickly, but at this time, the other party's mind is made up. In the next second, the sound of wails rings from all around. Trish knows she has been discovered. She quickly speeds up her movements and swims desperately. Soon, that orca reappears and chases after her, and Maddie also understands that this is an opportunity bought by her companion with her life. She no longer hesitates and immediately jumps into the water, but the orca ahead seems to have felt her fear. It directly gives up the chase and turns back to pounce. Maddie sees this and can only quickly swim to another rock to hide. While the orca is hesitant, Trish also reaches the beach safely, and more fortunately, a helicopter happens to fly overhead at this time. Seeing this, the two call for help frantically. In order not to miss the escape opportunity again, Trish even writes the SOS distress signal on the beach, but the helicopter still flies away gradually without noticing. This scene also makes Trish completely despair. She keeps shouting and cursing at the sky, but she does not notice at all that her position is actually very dangerous. In the next second, Trish hurriedly scratches the ground randomly. Although she successfully stops herself from being dragged into the water, her thigh is directly bitten off. She dies of excessive blood loss not long after. This makes Maddie, who is all alone, feel extremely desperate. She watches her companion die tragically with her own eyes. Although the rock here is closer to the shore, the place that can accommodate habitat is also narrower. Maddie can only curl up and dare not move at all. Even worse, Maddie sees dark clouds gathering in the sky with lightning and thunder, but she can hear no sound at all at this time. After checking, she finds that the hearing aid is completely out of power. The sudden silence further intensifies Maddie's fear. This will make her perception of danger become dull. The frightened Maddie can only turn on the flashlight. She obtains the only trace of security from the light, but unluckily, the flashlight also runs out of power at this time. She feels as if she has been abandoned by the whole world. Fortunately, just as she is in despair, heavy rain also pours down at this time. Maddie finally can supplement water from it after a long time, but just as she is excitedly catching the rain, she turns her head and sees that the orca has also surfaced nearby. Looking closely, one can find that there is a long, thin scar at the corner of its eye. Thinking of her current situation, Maddie finally feels some empathy for the orca, but currently, both sides are in a hostile relationship. Although she sympathizes with the opponent, it only re-inspires Maddie's desire to survive. Looking at the companion still lying in the distance with no one to tend to, she realizes that she is the coward who needs encouragement. The lightning and thunder in the sky also seem to prove that this is a good time. Thinking of this, she finally gathers her courage and slowly dives into the water from the rock. Then she swims frantically toward the shore regardless of everything, and this time she actually succeeds without incident. It is not that the other party is merciful, but that whales rely on an ecosystem to identify locations. The noise generated by the thunderstorm just now happened to cause the opponent's ecosystem to malfunction. Whales being stranded and dying usually come from this. Maddie, who luckily returns to the beach, thinks about the escape method again. At this time, she suddenly remembers that Trish's phone is waterproof. The phone seems to have been put in the storage compartment under the jet ski seat. But now the jet ski has sunk to the bottom of the water. Maddie can only risk diving into the water again. Fortunately, the thunderstorm has not ended yet. She successfully gets the backpack from the storage compartment. In the bag, besides the phone, there is an end pin for a cello that Trish intended to give her. This thing is mainly used to stabilize the body of the instrument and reduce the burden on the performer. It also implies letting her let go of the past and start over. But for now, the phone is of more help to Maddie. She throws other things away and focuses on operating the phone to prepare for calling the police. But at this time, a burst of whale sounds comes from all around again. She then realizes that the thunderstorm has ended at some point. This also means that the orca has also returned to normal. Maddie, who is in the water, knows she has nowhere to escape. She resolutely dives under the water again. She decides to fight a life and death battle. She quickly picks up the end pin dropped at the bottom of the water. Then she stabs it out forcefully before the opponent pounces. Maddie escapes the hunt safely, and although the orca loses an eye, it finds that because of the high tide, this lagoon is finally temporarily connected to the ocean. It does not care about revenge and hurriedly escapes from here, and Maddie quickly grabs the life jacket. She floats on the sea surface and waits for rescue. The story ends here.